We are live.
Welcome back to our GURPS Hammer campaign. I am Rigil, your GM for tonight's session. This campaign will be utilizing GURPS 4E rules, but is set in the Empire of Man, found in the Warhammer Fantasy role-playing setting, and in Warhammer Fantasy Battles, and in Warhammer Total War, etc., etc., etc. In addition to our live streams on Twitch, this and all future sessions will be available on YouTube and as an audio-only podcast. Links will be found in the descriptions. We will be down Nosh tonight, since as we noted last time, he killed his laptop to death. So, FX Engineer, I need a roll for your secret into the skull. You also still need to finalize your short-term ambition. And do you have any character business for Christoph?
I've given you my short-term ambition. I guess you're not accepting it, sounds like.
Which one did you give me?
I told you to find a quote-unquote trainer, basically, for magic, either along the lines of, let's just call it like ranger, druidic, outdoor types magic, or within the college. And you said that I might be able to just talk to Nosh if I could get him, if he can get a license.
Well, let me make a note.
Yeah, I don't know what else to kind of pick as a goal.
Well, the nice thing is you can always pick another one as soon as you think of it.
Cool. I have made a note. Okay, I need the secret roll into the skull, please.
Yeah.
And do you have any blah 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 blah? I'm like
character business.
Trying to look for something on here. Where the hell is it at? Oh, it was hidden. Yeah, if you do have any character business as well. If not, you can hold on to your points. That's cool. No worries.
Yeah, he's gonna hold on for a moment. Oh, stuff's popping up.
Sorry, that wasn't supposed to. I was expecting it to just be shared. I didn't know if it was gonna. When I did that, I should have done this earlier. Because, and I am going to jump back to the other ones, because as you will all see here on the map, I've added some additional pins that have basically like the neighborhoods.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
Yeah. So no character business for Christoph.
Cool. And ask Nosh if he has any character business for Enfys. Gigerman, do you have any character business for Jorg?
He just won't answer. I went ahead and bumped Judo. I'm pretty sure I tried to grab somebody at some point in the recent past, so whatever. But that's it.
I thought you were saving your points to get like luck or something.
Yeah, and I'm still doing that, but figured I might need to get that to a practicable level before this kicks off.
What, the riots that Christoph may have just kicked off?
Uh-huh.
Man, the nerve. All right, Mel, do you have any character business for Copperton?
No character business. Holding on to my points.
Cool. Ronki, I need a roll for your secret into the skull. And do you have any character business for Soren?
I do not, but I think I might change my short-term goal.
Okay.
I want to get a network of street kids as either contacts or contact group or ally group. I want to make
How are you going to do that?
I want to make my own little bird network.
Yeah, but they'll have to be in multiple cities.
Well, I only want it for here.
I don't know. You might not be here that long.
It just means if we go somewhere else, then I establish the contact group in the new place.
Well, goal's the goal, I guess.
It depends. If we're obviously not going to be here for long, then I might change it.
No, we're here for a year, I think, right? Because we have to serve off our sentence.
Officially, yep.
Unless we get out of it somehow.
You'd
Or
burn
we
the
flee.
town down. Could always burn the town down.
One of us did just murder a witch hunter, so.
Right. Okay. So someone who shall remain nameless just loosed an arrow and murdered a holy witch hunter on the steps of the Temple to Sigmar. This poor fellow got shot in the head by an arrow. At the time, going to the map, everybody was actually present originally. Originally, Jorg was going to not be here, but then I changed my mind. You were in the process of trying to exit there, Jorg, the town with Sergeant Elsie, who is also town watch. But, well, there was too many people present, and you got caught up in watching this craziness. And let's see. So she was, clearly grumbling a little bit irritably about the bloody witch hunters, and right before this arrow struck and he fell down, she was like quietly, idly wondering just how guilty the guy was. Copper Tongue, Infus, and Soren were there watching, and Christoph was also present, needless to say. So the arrow took out the witch hunter. There's a very audible gasp as people realize what just happened, and it almost seems like just this wave of panic sweeps through the people. I actually need, before we do anything else, all of the PCs to give me a will check.
That's
everybody?
never a good thing.
That is everybody.
Soren, at the sight of the dude falling down, he's going to go, huh, they can be killed.
Okay, so Jorg and Christoph are both going to feel just like this mindless fear for a second or two. Like, what the hell was that? And it's just like you have a sudden sense of urgency to get the hell out of here. So rather than do things round by round, I am going to be utilizing at least some of, I don't know entirely how close this is to his official capacity here, but Giger a while back started creating the action challenge system, and I actually think that Ronki is the only other person who has played or when we have tested this, because I don't think FX had joined us the last time, and I think Mel was on break then.
Yeah, I think that's right.
So this is intended to sort of add functionality, as stated, for action scenes that aren't quite full-on tactical combat, but are more than just, this happens and such like that. So the way it currently works is it's going to break down into like four parts, and I realize that the PCs can read this, but for the benefit of the podcast, I'm going over that. So the four parts are conditions, objective, contest, and hazard. The conditions, that's on me. That is where I basically state, you know this is what's going on. This is what the environment is. This is the streets of Bögenhafen are filled with panicking citizens and visitors, and that are all running in different directions and fleeing, and it's dark, but there are lots of lights because it's town. It's a town, so you don't have any real lighting penalties. It's night now. Hence, it's kind of dark. The rounds themselves are not like 1 second rounds. They're more like, this is going to cover, I don't know, a couple of minutes, 5-10 minutes, something like that, for each of the rounds. And regarding the objective, that is where I would go. I'm going to go to each of the individual PCs and say, what is your character's objective to in this particular scene? And we'd want to distill that down to like as few words as possible. So for example, in this sort of scenario, it could totally just be escape. I want to get out of this before the mob like tramples me in their panic, or I want to find some place to hide, that sort of thing. But it could also, for other scenarios, it could be like, I'm gonna hold the line against these against the mob, fix bayonets or something like that. Or hey, look, there's a building that's on fire. I want to go rescue people from it. So it's just an overall what is the goal. And then we'll have the contest. Normally you would only really end up be doing one skill roll. So for example, in the thing where it's like, hey, I'm gonna hide from the angry mob that's looking out for me, then that would likely be a stealth check. But if a PC is like, no, screw that, I'm getting up there and fighting the fiery but mostly peaceful Riot, then that would be like an actual combat check, or maybe strength or dex or something like that. So depending upon the situation, I may add a bonus or a penalty. So as indicated in my notes, fighting or hiding from 3 to 5 drunk guards is a lot easier than fighting or hiding from the horde of Persians attacking Thermopylae, presuming you're there at Thermopylae. So success on this roll would mean you gain the PC gains progression, whether that means moving to a new zone. If it's like I'm trying to go from point A to point B, that would be that. Or it's like, no, I'm trying to prevent someone from leaving this zone, then that would work. And then finally, the hazard thing, it's effectively just a defense roll. And it does that. In that case, it can be an actual GURPS defense roll, block, parry, dodge sort of thing, if you're actively in a cool fight montage like 300 or something like that. But if it's not, and you're using a completely different skill, like, hey, I'm parkouring across the rooftops, then we would go off of your acrobatics skill, but we would treat it as if it's you're trying to figure out what your defense skill is, or defense version of that. So it'd be half +3, like you do block and all that, the other stuff, and any appropriate bonuses. Failure may include actual hit point damage, depending, but not always. It could totally just be like, oh, yeah, you were trying to hide and you failed, So you have been found. We will go into an actual fight or maybe a chase or something like that. Okay, so immediately, with the conditions as stated, the streets of Bögenhafen, right now, right outside or here in the Göttenplatz, or the God Plaza, they are filled with the panicking citizens and all the visitors since Schaffenfest is approaching. Now fleeing in all directions. Both Jorg and Christoph are also experiencing a sudden and unexpected sense of panic themselves, almost like they failed to resist. Actually, I got to double check something. Copper Tongue made it, and no, Copper Tongue is the only one that made it. Even though Soren succeeded by 3, that is 1 point shy of successfully covering that. If Enfys was actually here, then he would have. I would have covered the fact that he actually sees his brother and crap. I have to share that later because he's not here. But he actually saw his brother cast a spell, and then, ta-da! Oh noes. So with that, in that case, it's like everybody's starting to panic. All that. Christoph, you actually also feel different. And the driving obsession that you were experiencing to see the witch hunter dead has mysteriously abated. And that will prompt him to quickly realize, oh crap, I was under the influence of a spell. And frankly, there's only one person he can think of. Well, actually, 2 people, I guess, if Enfys could do it. But there's only one person he can think of that makes sense for it to be responsible for it. And I also need from Christoph another will check at -1.
All right. Somebody's like throwing all these area effect spells out there.
No, this is something slightly different.
Success by 3.
Okay. That is successful. So the memory that he had of Sybil, Sybil, the casting a couple of spells, like he vaguely remembered her casting like light and concussion and such like that. That spell also sort of that memory sort of evaporates, and he remembers what she actually cast on him now, which was the charm, the weaken will. Whoops, that didn't work. The weaken will, that did work. The lesser geas, and then the false memory.
That's bloody witch.
Yep.
Witches, man.
Yes, indeed. So, since Igor's the most familiar with how the ACS actually works, I am actually going to start with him with regards to what is going to be his objective. The crowd, as the crowd is like thundering and in fear and all this stuff. Anybody that was like standing next to one another, you guys sort of lose track of each other very quickly because of that's how many people are there. And in this case, that is also going to count for Jorg with Elsie, who is going to be like shouting very loudly. Clearly, she does have penetrating voice, but even among that, it's really really hard to see. So with regards to everybody but Copper Tongue, I am did panic show up for everybody suddenly?
Yes.
Okay, this is the spell that was cast by Bryn Mawr for that has caused, interestingly enough, all of the human PCs to go and the description in the panic the panic spell. For those listening, it says those in the affected area flee in mindless fear away from the caster for the duration of the spell. Subject who cannot escape can turn and take the all-out defense maneuver if attacked. I am not going to require that. I'm not going to require you to necessarily run away because you're actually named characters. You're not random NPCs like everybody else. However, when it comes around to your actual contest, you will be at a -1.
Right.
So, what is his objective?
Okay, questions. Was Elsa affected?
That would be a really good question. I should probably find a guard on here and actually, oh crap, I didn't generate it. Damn it, I knew wait, let me double check.
Well, the natural follow-up question of that is, were any of the other watch affected? And how
the watch are
organized
all over
are they?
the place.
Just and then kind of also to get an idea of, I don't. So the cost is like 4 per, and it's an area effect spell, so it's like 4.
Yep.
So I mean, I don't know how big of an area they cast it on.
It is very large. I actually did calculate that.
Okay.
And how that works is you multiply the 4 times the radius.
Yep.
And he actually went from 0 threshold to I am 10 points over my normal threshold for this. And then,
that's fine.
then amusingly enough, I'm like, oh, cool, that's going to give him a calamity check at +2. And I rolled a freaking 4.
Okay, as long as you were taking that into account.
Yep. Because I was like, oh, hey, how does this work?
Okay.
Yeah, it looks with regards to Jorg's question, he is not sure about LC because of the number of people who are just streaming away in raw panic since they're boring NPCs and don't get cool penalties. He can hear her shout a little bit, and he is also probably not entirely sure about the watch because there's so many people present. It's probably kind of hard to make out where they are.
Okay. So if I am recovered or recovering, and if Elsa is yelling at the watch to get them back into line, then I assume she's in the same boat where she is either recovered or recovering or wasn't affected in the first place. And that the watch itself, it was affected. So I have, at this point, so the crowd is at this point just panicking. Is there anything in particular they're doing?
Running in all directions.
Everybody's just running away.
Shoving people, knocking people down. It's that herd mentality. They're like, I've got to get away, gotta get away, gotta go.
Okay, so there are people potentially getting trampled or injured otherwise at this point. So I think York is going to have effectively 2 things going on at this point. One, he's going to want to try to protect people that are otherwise helpless or getting trampled or getting injured or kids getting lost or whatever the hell, doing the hero thing. And the other part is trying to gather up the watch and get them under control so that they can help. So 2 objectives: help people and gather the watch.
Okay, help people gather the water. That's 2 objectives.
And they might overlap.
Let's see. So, what is help people going to be? Well, to try to gather the watch. That's probably going to be leadership.
Probably.
But I'm not sure about helping the people.
If we're talking about people getting trampled or something like that, you could probably just treat it as combat, even though it's not literally an attack.
Okay, so since this is normally you would just do 1, but if you do want to do multiples, I think that's going to be at -2. But if you do want to do multiples, I think since you're already under the temporary influence of the panic, that's going to be at a -3.
Oh.
So you may just
Let's
pick
not
1.
do that. Damn it, I started typing something and now I don't want to type it anymore. Yeah, let's not do that. It's not time for that yet. Let's just stick with the helpless people and let Elsa try to gather the watch, and we'll see what happens next round.
Okay. Christoph, I am presuming his objective is to get off this stupid roof and and get away.
Yep, that sounds great. Without anybody noticing.
Right. Yeah. So he's. I'm presuming. Let's see. Get away. So I am going to presume that is likely just going to end up being a stealth check. However, you will be at a penalty simply because of the bow. I mean, that's a large bow. And interestingly enough, you should be very glad that I actually looked at what the bulk was, because I was originally going to say, yeah, you'll need to make that with the bulk penalty, like holdout. And then I actually looked at what the bulk on the bow is. I'm like, oh, that's a -7. That seems a bit much. Okay, so
you're applying the bulk. You're applying the penalty
no,
of my
not.
bulk. Oh,
I
okay,
am not.
sorry.
Like I said, I was originally going to do that because it's like I was thinking of holdout, and then I'm like, oh yeah, I can just have him apply that to stealth, and then I said, oh, that's a lot. Okay, I probably shouldn't do that. What is Copper Tongue doing in this? What is Copper Tongue's objective? Considering she's the only one that isn't panicking.
Copper Tongue is going to try to find someplace safe to turtle up.
Okay. Let's see here. That is also, I guess that would probably be stealth. And Soren. What is Soren's objective in his momentary panic?
He plans to get safe after he has, evacuated the immediate, riot. He's going to try and get to the body.
Yeah, good luck with that. Okay, so he's trying to get to something to safety. Okay, what would that? I guess that probably ended up be. All right, so okay, so this will go to the contest. This is let's see. So obviously, Christoph is going to need to do a stealth check. He is going to be at -1 for the panic. He's going to be an additional -2 just because he's carrying a bow and someone has just been murdered by a bow. He will be able to see during the course of this. He will be able to see several men that he recognizes as having been riding with the now dead witch hunter, are like fanning out into the crowd and shoving and pushing, and they're like armed with really big hammers, and they have livery that sort of it looks like a symbolic silver hammer. So that probably means they are members of the Dead Templars retinue, and they're looking for the murderer. So give me a stealth check at -3 for Christoph.
Okay. And then obviously then I get to use my spells, right? For my stealth.
Okay.
Since you're saying this is gonna take, you're saying this is like a 5 to 10 minute thing.
Yeah, something like that.
And and if you're counting my bow against me, he would like take his cloak and the leathers and all that stuff, like cloth, and wrap up his bow, kind of like, obviously anybody seen the bow will know that he has a bow. But it's how people wrap up their weapons while they're walking around town. That's kind of how he's gonna set up his gear. And let's see, and then I think the spell that I would cast was Hush. So that can offset some of the penalties. Let's see, Hush.
Now I am actually wondering how that would apply. And no, this is me thinking for the ACS thing, because this makes perfect sense.
It adds 3 whenever a roll is necessary for stealth, or subtract 5 from hearing. Anybody listening?
How long does it last?
It's 10 seconds. +2 to cast, 1 to maintain.
Yeah, so it's like 10 seconds for 2 for 10 seconds, and then for another 10 seconds it's 1, and repeat.
Oh. Well, that's maybe useful.
Yeah, but his level is garbage.
Well,
he would cast it repeatedly until he succeeded, or he blew up on a critical failure.
yeah, I don't know if sound is actually a problem here, though.
Yeah, because it's like people are running and screaming. So, but the spell, I mean, it doesn't. It's just can make no sounds either accidentally or on purpose. Yeah. In this case, they're relying entirely on visual because they can't really hear anything because of how loud everybody is while they're running. So I'm not actually sure if that would be helpful for him.
Right. Except that it doesn't really. It just says it goes against stealth skill.
Yeah, but it's like I do or you subtract 5 from the hearing roll. So it is yeah, I understand where you're coming from. I'm just looking at it and trying to think kind of logically there. I'm not 100% positive in this case. Oh man, that is.
So you're trying to say if somebody will see me?
Yes, they are not relying on hearing at all, because right now it is really, really, really loud as people are running and screaming and all that noise and stuff. So they are entirely scanning visually.
So what he's gonna do then, if I could do a complimentary roll on my camouflage, so he's got like the dark clothing that maybe help me with the shadows and whatnot. So like if he's coming up against a group of people, he will stop and kind of hide in the shadows, and hope his camouflage can maybe help them
Right. Yeah. Well,
overlook that.
I don't want. I don't want to do the purpose. The purpose of the ACS is not to do it round by round. This is just like an overall thing. It's
Okay,
like
yeah, then with my
Think of it like the
camouflage,
dice.
but the camouflage would help with the vision because I guess you're giving me a penalty because of an item, which I'm not sure. I didn't know that items would give you a stealth penalty. So just because you're carrying gear, I think it's typically based on encumbrance. I'm just trying. So I can't.
I'm getting the feeling we're not communicating here, because I signed the penalty in this case simply because it's like a generic penalty, simply because a man was just murdered with an arrow. And so right now, the people that are actively looking for the murderer are looking for people who have bows. So this is just it's a generic thing.
Okay. So stealth -3 in the box or open?
You can do it in do it open. That's fine.
Oops, I rolled twice by accident. First one success by 3.
Yep. So, and that's not including the -3.
Oh, wait.
So that is success.
Success by 1. Right?
That
I don't know.
was
Get
weird.
Yeah, I wonder. That's kind of weird.
It gave me the -3 on the second roll, not on the first one. That's fine.
That is really well. You would have made it either way. So, okay, Christoph. That is Christoph. Good. Jord. Let's see. So,
Right.
he is doing some sort of trying to help people. I think that will probably just be a dex check in this case.
Yeah,
You're
I think
like
that
grabbing
makes the
somebody.
most sense.
Remember, you're at the -1 for the panic, even though you desperately want to get the hell out of here. You somehow manage to fight it off, and you are helping little old ladies and all that.
I am effective in grabbing people.
Well, I guess that's something. All right. So, Copper Tongue, you are trying to find some place that will allow you to turtle up. So that could be either perception. No, probably stealth. I think because you're trying to find some place convenient to hide. Does she have stealth?
Well, she's
She
not really
does.
trying to hide. She's just trying to protect herself.
Yeah. Also, I'm pretty sure that she failed her klutz roll for this day, and I don't think it's been used. So feel free to shenanigans. So what do you want me to roll?
Let's go with. I think stealth could work unless you have some other idea of a skill that you have or appropriate attribute.
I don't think so. Aside from a will to live.
Perception or observation is probably workable here.
She does
Tactics
have
if she had it, but I don't think she does.
No, she doesn't. Perception is at a 12, stealth is at an 11. So just let me know which one you want me to roll.
What is will to live? Where does that come from?
I made it for fun because
Okay.
somebody made, I think it was like due to one of the daily puns or something.
Oh, right. Yeah.
And I rolled it.
Those are the best. Got to keep it to a little hot.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I guess perception can work in that case. She's like, oh, got to go there.
Yep, she is on it
Holy
today.
crap.
All right.
She's got reverse
Soren,
middle dice.
give me a.
I
Do you,
know.
I don't know if Soren has running. If not, give me like a dex check. And remember, you're at -1 because you said you're trying to scramble away from the crowd.
Yeah, he's going for safety. Would urban survival be appropriate here?
Yeah, I can see that. Yeah.
With -1, that's a success by 4.
Right, so everyone has accomplished their objectives. All right, so now this is the sort of hazard, the pushing and the jostling of the panicked crowd could theoretically cause injuries. So we're gonna have the defense rolls and such like that. For Christoph, he would probably use his stealth check as if it's a combat thing, and in this case it would just be like he falls. Alternately, you could just do like dodge or something like that for everybody. I'm gonna start with Soren. Give me, I think you in this case probably would be a dodge check. However, you could theoretically use the urban survival as if it is a combat skill for that. What is that? Half +3. It's probably not as good as your regular dodge.
Works out the same.
Okay. So give me that. And on the failure, it will result in you taking a hit point per margin of failure. However, damage resist the DR is treated normally. So it's like if you have DR3 and you failed by 2, you don't take nothing.
Okay, can we use extra effort here?
I legitimately had not considered that. I don't know, actually. Can you use the extra effort in the ACS thing, Daniel?
I think I had started pondering that issue, and I don't think I ever came up with a satisfactory conclusion because there is a much longer time period associated with it. On the other hand, I mean, this is also damage applied over a longer period, so maybe you could just treat it normally?
So let's say yes.
Well, let's see if it matters. It will potentially matter.
Actually, no, it won't.
Oh no, extra effort's 2.
Yeah, so
So
he
1
will
point.
take 1 point, but I think he has DR of at least 1, right?
2.
Okay, then he takes no damage. He gets jostled around and knocked into a couple of buildings and such, or people, they're as they're panicking, but he is not actually injured. All right, Copper Tongue. Probably the same dodge.
Can I use block and use her shield to just like shove people out of the way?
Well, I don't see why not. You can use this is basically a standard defense for her.
Angry dwarf.
Interesting thought for the future. What about size mod?
Hmm.
Damn, girl.
Yep. So you're
I'm-
knocking people backwards, and as they're like trying to panic, So there's going to be at least a couple people that get trampled because they bounced off of her shield.
She's just
All right.
barreling through the crowd. Shove off.
Yep. Okay. So Jorg.
Right. It was either going to come down to dodge or potentially judo parry, which ends up about the same. So I'll use the parry.
You have to shout
Blah, blah,
judo
blah.
chop when you do that.
I'm not judo chopping people. I'm judo maneuvering around them and rolling really poorly.
All right. So, however, what is his base DR?
Torso DR is 5.
All right. So it's like you're parrying people. You're they're like slamming their heads into you and, elbows. And they're like, oh, that's armor. And you take no damage.
Probably hurt
Okay.
them more than they hurt me.
Christoph, go ahead and give me probably a dodge in this case. As once you're down from where you were and sneaking along, you still have people that are just scattering like roaches and jostling, maybe running into you. So you want to try to avoid that.
Okay. What's the dodge calculation?
Half plus 3.
So, for some reason, my dodge is a 7 on my sheet. Seem right?
That doesn't sound right.
Encumbrance.
But I'm not encumbered.
Have a look at the main tab of your character sheet.
Oh, I know exactly what the problem is it's the damn currency. It's got 64 shillings. That is going to remember we ran into the weirdness with the because the currency automatically it's since I actually did on the I think it was on the options and the currencies, I actually said how much the coins weigh. It's automatically calculating that and adding it to your weight. And there's sadly no way to say, no, I'm not carrying all of this right now. I have it back at base in a box.
Well, 64 shillings can't be like 50 pounds or whatever, can it? I mean,
Well, you got 6 crowns, 64 shillings, 33 finning. I don't think it's going to be that bad, but I mean, you're listed as light encumbrance. So I'm trying to remember. It's based off of move, right? It's not dodge is move based off of move, not. I can never remember.
yeah. So he's got. We would have set up. I mean, he would have no
That still
encumbrance
doesn't
right
sound
now.
right.
Yeah.
Basic speed +3. Wow. So that is 9. So his base dodge is wrong. I bet you changed this and we didn't recalculate this. Let's see. So yeah,
Just
so
roll.
the base is 9. Does he have combat reflexes? He does not.
No. Failed anyways. Rolled a 12 on the dodge. Wouldn't have been able to use like retreat or anything like that, right?
No, but you could have done extra effort, so that would have been 9, 10, 11. So it would have been fail by 1, and you are wearing at least a little bit of armor, right? You have something that has DR 1.
He's got, yes, he does.
Yeah, so you
he's
get
got leather.
jostled around a bit, but you did not take any damage. However, whoever it is, some of the people that jostled you around absolutely realized you had a bow. But good times. Okay, so and nobody has any idea what happened to poor Enfys. Maybe he got trampled to death, or he's over there curled up in a ball because Copper Tongue randomly kicked him in the groin right before she left.
Oh, it would not have been a random kick if that were the case.
So as Soren is scrambling to get away and such like that, he is going to realize, when he was angling towards this alleyway, he is going to see the two thieves, I guess they were, that you were talking to earlier, who represent the new crew, and they seem to be I don't say loitering, lurking like at the front of an alleyway, just like staring in shock and disbelief at all the craziness. But since at least one of them is really large, most people are like, "Yeah, I'm not gonna go that way. They look scary." Upon seeing Soren basically scrambling for safety, the talker is going to quickly gesture for him to come this way.
Okay.
Well, it's one of those. It's like he sees somebody he recognizes, like, this way, this way.
Since Soren is panicked, he will.
Okay, you get over there. They're like, come on, we need to get out of here. This sounds crazy. Also, my boss wants to talk to you.
I'm gonna make a roll.
Okay, what are you making a roll on against?
Soren had it in his mind to go loot the body of a witch hunter because he figures that they've got some really Gucci gear, right?
Possibly. That he's also smart enough to know that would be really hard to get to, because if you recall, he wasn't the only one that was right up there. There were other priests and mercenaries and such like that. Well, not mercenaries, but soldiery types right up there around the guy before he got shot in the head.
Did they
Not
not scatter?
impossible. You don't actually know because you went nope and panicked. Totally thanks to Infus's potentially evil brother.
All right, Soren will, given that, he will sigh and go, "Oh, I bet he had awesome shit.
I wonder
I
if he
could
did.
have,
have
I
awesome
could have
stuff.
sold it and paid off my debt to that freaking mage."
He probably had a gun or two. You could always hang around and wait, see if the area clears. Probably won't though.
What do I have as his gear? Thrusting broadsword. I don't know if it's because it's an NPC sheet, so I don't know if that's fine. Probably not. Possibly though. Couple of heavy dragoon pistols.
Soren would have been
corselet.
looking to filch stuff, so it would have been small.
Lots of black clothing with skulls on them. Because
He's
you need
obviously
skulls.
the bad guy.
No, it's just everybody has a weird obsession with skulls in Warhammer. Doesn't matter if
They're
it's
all the
fantasy
baddies.
or 40k. Well, yeah, that's not untrue.
All right, so Soren will sigh and then go off with these guys.
Okay, so they are going to quickly escort you toward the nearest manhole cover, and you realize, oh, they're taking the Thieves Highway, the sewer itself. and the big guy will move the manhole cover and scramble down the ladder. The talker's like, oh man, I hate the smell.
Seriously, we're not going into that shit.
Just don't fall in.
Again, Søren will sigh and reluctantly climb down.
All right. And then the talker will pull the manhole, or he'll also follow and pull the manhole cover back. Once you get down there, they're like, all right, I hate to do this, but we totally need you to wear this blindfold. Can't let you know where our secret base is yet.
Fine.
So I have a question, rules question that I could not find a proper answer to when I was looking. So in various shows, inevitably the hero or the main character or whatever is blindfolded, but they do something, and so they can ensure to that they can almost see through it. What would that be? Because I can't think of a skill.
Perception at a penalty?
Well, I was thinking if there was something, maybe, but usually it's something maybe they adjust their jaw or something to cause it to slip, or they're generally able to roll with blow. I would not have remotely considered that. And I don't have that. Where is that at? It's not in the.
It's a technique. I think it's a cinematic technique. Or
where's it at?
It's gonna be martial arts. Hang on.
Roll with blow. Represents special training. Possess. No, I don't know if that would. No, that's not really what that is. That's literally rolling with the blow. It's like they hit, and it's like, okay, I'm letting myself fall back so I don't take as much damage. This is just like, okay, we're gonna put this blindfold on you. You're gonna do something to ensure it, like, I don't know, it slips or.
Right.
It's also because I know it's like if you're being tied, you've got the hole where it's like if you flex it's like, was it flex when they're doing it? I
don't know. I might consider that a sort of a subset of escape, maybe. It's you're running into that same problem I ran into of how do you disguise the fact that you're drawing a weapon? Because it's not stealth, it's not holdout.
I don't know. Make it a dex roll.
That's cheating, but it works.
I'm looking at the thing. Yeah, it probably is similar to escape. This is the ability to slip out of ropes, handcuffs, and similar restraints, but this isn't really a restraint. Yeah, go ahead and give me a dex check there, Søren. By 4. Okay, so you're able to, I don't know, wiggle or something. You've been in this situation before, apparently, and you are able to ensure that the blindfold itself isn't perfectly secured, so you can sort of see through it or around it or whatever. They will start leading you through the very stinky sewers. Luckily, they don't seem to be jerks about it. Because they will stop every now and then. It's like, up, careful. This is a tough area here. Don't want to step there. You're gonna fall in.
Søren will say, if I fall in the shit, I'm taking it out on you too.
We don't want you to fall into it. We'll never get the smell out. And you will be led for something of a distance. Since Bögenhafen is your hometown, I think you have area knowledge of this place at IQ. Is that correct?
Yes.
All right. So go ahead and give me a check.
By one.
Okay. So you are able to keep track of where you end up, and to your very great surprise, you're able to mostly figure out that where you do show up is actually the Crossed Pikes Tavern, which is literally right across the street from the main guard barracks. They will lead you in through or they come up to a door and they're like, actually, like, do a sort of code knock. There's like a little slit there that somebody can actually see, and you'll hear like a couple things unlocking, and you will be brought into it's like a little cellar. And they'll shut the door, they'll lock it, and the talker is gonna say, "Oh, it's like, yeah, just have a seat. I'll go upstairs, get the boss."
Søren will remember the code knock. He'll memorize it.
Okay. A few minutes later, because you've actually had drinks here at this place, because it's fairly popular with the town watch, simply because it's like right across the street. You will recognize the bartender or the tavern keeper comes down, and I have to pause and say thank you, free AI, for totally putting a skull on there, and I didn't even ask for one. He comes down and he pauses and he greets you really friendly. And he's like gonna glance at you. He goes, you have your mother's eyes, but you look so much like your father.
Say what? How do you know?
What do you mean? How did I know? They were my friends.
I was an
Well,
orphan.
a little more. No, you weren't. Well, not for your entire life. It's very unfortunate what happened to them. I spent years trying to figure out exactly who killed them. And as he's talking to you, he will actually, in front of you, he is crossing the first two fingers of his left hand, and but he's like keeping it in front, which you will actually recognize vaguely as a this is a promise of honesty among the adherents and the followers of Reynald, the god of thieves. But Franz here, he's like, yeah, I spent many years trying to figure that out. We always suspected that the local brotherhood was somehow involved in that, but well, we couldn't quite find out exactly who it was that was responsible.
Why? Why my parents? What was special about them?
And he's going to tilt his head, and he looks a little surprised, like, "Oh, you didn't know? Your father was actually the anointed of Reynald here in town. He was one of our top priests. And your mom, she was the best damn pickpocket I've ever seen."
Wow.
Like,
So
yeah,
you're saying I'm Thieves Jesus.
I wouldn't go that far.
You're a pickpocket, Harry.
He's like, yeah, but regardless, I've had my eye on you for some time there, Soren, even before you left town.
Huh. So why wait till now to talk to me?
Well, I sent these lunks to try to bring you here earlier tonight. I mean, you were apparently serving with the watch, and we had to make sure that wasn't legitimate or willing.
Yeah. 12 months.
That's
But-
rough, buddy.
If it serves my purpose, I might stay on longer.
Well, more importantly, I was thinking of offering you a place here with the Crooked Fingers. We're now the lead guild in town.
I don't know about that. I'm kind of a, lone wolf, solo actor.
And that sort of thing gets people killed.
So, tell me more anyway. I am intrigued.
Okay, yeah, he will explain briefly that the Brotherhood itself, the former Brotherhood, they kind of lost their way because they were supposed to be Reynaldans as well, but they were actually involved in the murder of your family. That's not going to happen. That means they have definitely gone the wrong path because Reynald frowns on unnecessary violence, and they couldn't exactly betray those guys or turn them over to the authorities because betraying a fellow to the authorities is a cardinal sin. And as you were talking to him, you definitely get the feeling this dude is actually religious, but about the god of thieves.
Do I have to detect lies? No. I'm going to read his body language just to see, if I get any sort of, any sort of deception or ill intent. Is he trying to, play good, but he's not good?
Okay. Based off of your reading, he seems to be on the up and up.
So if I was to join your band of merry men, how would I fit into this picture? How do you see me fitting in?
Well, right now you are perfectly placed within the watch. I mean, we always need more eyes within them, especially with all the recent crackdowns and the strange disappearances and occasional murders.
Probably more importantly, how can I make some money? I've got myself into a bit of financial complication, and I'd like to resolve that quickly.
Well, there are always ways to make money. We definitely appreciate or love the thinking there. And he is also going. If you join us, and we don't have great health plan, but that's fine. But we are absolutely thieves, and we like to steal. Yeah, but we're a guild. So,
Hey, I don't steal. I liberate.
no, there's no reason to be embarrassed by it. It's like, yeah, he's going to point to or sort of half turn to the two guys standing there. He goes, "Tell me, what does the book say?" And both of them reply. And this is actually the first time you've heard the other guy talk. The really big dude. He has a kind of a high pitched voice, but both of them reply like they are quoting, and they're like, once there was a thief, and the thief was God. And he looks satisfied. He's like, absolutely. Don't be afraid that you're stealing. Renaud was the thief. He was the best thief. He stole his way into divinity.
Let me think about it. But while I do, I'm happy to be a freelance entity to your organization.
Well, the problem is we can't really let freelancers work in the town. Because freelancers do stupid things and they attract unnecessary heat.
I see. So, if I don't join your organization, what happens to me?
That's a really good question. And the GM absolutely should have had an answer. Nothing good. I mean, we won't kill you. Probably. Nah, we wouldn't do that.
Well, no, you shouldn't. My parents would never forgive you. Well, I'm still interested in how I can make some money, like some serious money.
Well, let's discuss that, and he will start chatting with you about the great opportunities of being part of their team as they're planning on possibly hitting one of the more irritating merchant houses in town and causing a bit of a maybe trying to blame another merchant house.
And what would my cut be? And what would you expect of me in doing this?
We don't have to determine exactly what you're capable of.
All right.
It'll be fine and fun.
Secret cult initiation.
Actually, that is something that just occurred to me. It is entirely possible that I am not pushing for this necessarily. I'm just saying it is a possibility that if Soren ended up wanting to go the magical route, he could be initiated into the cult of Renault, and unlike standard GURPS, actually, I'm not 100% positive if it's official, where you cannot pick up magery after the fact. That is not the case necessarily for religious spellcasting.
Well, religious spellcasting doesn't use magery. It uses.
Yes, it does. It
power
does in
that's-
this.
Okay.
Nope, it uses they basically have a renamed version of is it it's like magery, I think. Although I will, it's just instead of warp resonance, which is just standard majory, it is called warp empathy, but it is basically treated the same way.
Well, that would be the same as power investiture.
Where you have 5 points for 0, and then 10 for 1, 2, 3, 4, and so on.
I think it works out the same, yeah.
I actually don't recall. I haven't looked at power investiture in a while. If
But
that's the
it
case,
works
then
the same.
It works essentially the same, except you don't use mana so much as you use sanctity. So if you
well, in this case, it would still be the threshold stuff, because it's the elves are aware of this fact, but humans are not. That the magic, whether it is, in this particular setting, the wizard spells and religious spells literally come from the same place. It's it's warp. It's the warp.
1 coin in 10 belongs to Renald. That's another debt.
No, it's just tithing. You just
More
have
of a
to make
tax
sure to.
than a debt.
Yeah, you just have to make sure you steal 11 coins instead of 10.
Violence is prohibited.
He is Reynald is the god of thieves and gamblers and luck and all that jazz. He is fittingly, Reynald's priests are thieves, tricksters, and gamblers, rather than the educated effete elites so favored by the other deities.
Interesting. There is no honor amongst thieves, but there is amongst Reynaldians.
Yep. So it's one of those. It's like they like to do the angle where it's like these guys would never never betray or screw over a fellow Reynaldian, but if a guy is just a regular thief and doesn't give a damn, then they would go, yeah, you're a piece of crap. No, we're not going to help you. We're not necessarily going to report you, because that's a cardinal sin too. But we may just look the other way and walk away. What was the impulsive self-control roll for?
To see if I jump at the opportunity without giving it much thought. I think I'm going to do that anyway. And fail the roll. Sure. All right. I'm interested. But if I don't make any money out of this endeavor, then I'm out. I'll go it alone.
Well, how about that? Clearly, we need to figure out a proper trial there. So for there are, it's going to depend on the aspect. He's probably going to be, okay, right. So he's going to continue trying to learning what you are capable of, and also upselling how awesome Reynald is, and all that, and he's convinced that you would make a great Reynaldian priest simply because it's in your blood, thanks to your dad.
You never know. Maybe I will.
Okay, so for the rest of the PCs, several of you, or all of you, have actually, if you were trying to escape and get out of the zone, which would be what Christoph was doing, and then he is successful, although he's like not 100% positive that he wasn't seen. Jorg is going to have managed to rescue a handful of people. Copper Tongue was able to find a place to sort of turtle up. The what the heck was Göttenplatz, I think it is. The Göttenplatz has cleared out for the most part, although there are a large number of guards and like temple guards and such like that have like swarmed out of the area and are ensuring that nobody comes up here to loot the poor dead witch hunter. So it would have been kind of interesting to see if Soren managed to get up there. Christoph, once you are clear of the area, where are you planning on going?
Christoph will. Wow. So does he think he's being followed, or he will want to get his stuff at the inn?
You guys have been at the barracks. You guys have been sleeping at the barracks.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, the barracks. Well, okay. In that case,
I won't
he's gonna just try to play it off.
I won't necessarily say that he thinks he's being followed. It's just while he was being jostled around and trying to get clear, there's at least maybe one or two people who reacted oddly when they realized that's kind of like a bow, but then the sheer press of numbers means you're moved on really quickly. So they may have seen you, but you don't know how well they could describe you. They may describe you as the shortish, tallish guy with blackish, reddish, brownish hair.
Yeah, I mean, I'm on the town watch, and I'm authorized to carry my bow. So if I get, I think he's going to try to play it off unless somebody's going to come around investigating him specifically.
Right. Okay, so he's
that would mean he'd want to throw his livery back on.
Yeah, once he's in once he's kind of like gone back and forth a few times, and he's away from the area, and he can go into like a hiding spot, like kind of like Clark Kent, Batman, and put his town watch uniform back on or uncover it, and then walk out like nothing happened. Business as usual.
Oh, there's
totally
definitely
went up
stuff
against
can
the
happen.
wall like Spider-Man.
There's definitely stuff happening. It's like you can hear the town bells going off and such like that. Jorg, by the time it mostly clears the stuff out, you will see a handful of the guards have sort of like assembled around Elsie. Several of them have like bleeding scalps from having gotten knocked down, and she's issuing orders to them. It's like basically, and she'll see you and gesture for you to get your butt over there. And she is telling everybody to hoof it back to the barracks because they need to start getting kitted up. This looks like it's gonna turn ugly. So what is he doing?
Well, I think his first reaction is he's going to tell Elsa that he'll stand with her until somebody else shows up that's competent enough to take his place. At which point he expects she'll tell him, "No, get your ass over there to the barracks and get dressed."
Well, she's going there too. She's leaving this to the temple guards,
Oh.
and she's gonna actually tell them. It's like, yeah, we know what's coming next.
Okay. Then yeah, I'll just do that then.
What about Copper Tongue?
So things are clearing out, or is it still crazy?
It has cleared out in the immediate area, but simply based off of the noise coming from various other locations in the town, it does not sound like it is going to remain sane.
Okay. Well, if the immediate crush of people is out, if Queen sees Jörg running off or leaving, she'll trot along and catch up with him.
You guys are totally going to be like, hoofing it back to the barracks, and Christoph will just slide right in behind everybody. It's like, what are you talking about? I was always here.
Exactly.
So as stated, a lot of the guards are quickly assembling at the barracks itself. You will see as you guys enter, there is a number of them that are already clearly like, yep, we know what's about to happen, because they're like, equipping shields and getting some sticks, I guess you would call them, some like knotted clubs and such like that. And Sergeant Elsie is looking around, and she's like, all right, everybody, we know what's about to happen. We've been through this before. Well, most of us have been through this before. That'll be like at a glance at the other people, and she's like, and then she's like promptly issuing some instructions for some of the other people. It's like, okay, you need to go check in with this person. You need to go check in with this person, sort of thing. And as you're doing that, you will have several other very bloodied guardsmen come rushing in, and they will announce, yep, they are absolutely rioting in the artisan quarter. She's like, and it'll move on to the Allstat and probably over to the pit, but we can't worry about that for now. So she is going to instruct everyone to gather shields and gather some weapons, because we're going to have to go out there and enforce some order. We are very likely going to be greatly outnumbered by stupid, drunk, or actively malicious people. But our duty right now is to Bögenhafen. That's funny. I like that. So when we didn't incite a riot, we get blamed. This time, one of us did incite a riot, and we're good. Yeah, that's about right. So our duty is to Bögenhafen, and we are going to bring this damned nonsense to an end. As a result, any of these idiots who look at us cross-eyed should be arrested. Anyone who talks back should get smashed into the ground. Anyone attacks should be put into the ground. Am I clear? And, everybody's like, doing the.
Yes, Sergeant.
And she's looking around. She's like, where are all the other bloody sergeants? Totally unsurprising, maybe. Completely, I don't know. Probably unsurprising. The guy who's supposed to be like looking after you guys, Sergeant Klumpenklug, there is no sign of him.
I'm sure he's at a tavern and has no idea anything's going on.
So she's like gonna be like, all right, fine. Lang, he points at York. She's like, I'm making you a corporal for the time being. You're the number 2.
Ha 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 ha. Promotion.
Okay, now I'm remind myself how to do this. Go over here. Are you gonna go over there? There you go. I am dragging some stuff into the party sheet. There are four, although technically Soren isn't here. He's being upselled on joining a cult. Although technically that isn't as bad as it sounds, because all of the religions are referred to as cults. There are knobbed clubs and medium shields. Oh, there's another medium shield in there. So everyone is expected to grab one, even if you're not actually going to likely use it, because they are turning you into riot police for a bit. Good old Christoph caused a riot. Right. So if you do not have the knobbed club and one of the medium shields, you should take one of the medium shields and one of the knobbed clubs.
Yeah.
What are you ehing about?
My default on that.
On what, the club?
Uh-huh.
I don't know. What is it?
8.
Well, maybe you shouldn't have not had Axe Mace.
Telegraph.
Or just
And,
don't
you
use
know,
it.
Yeah, or you could end up just not using it. In the time, in that so what is going to end up happening is Soren is not going to be part of the first. I want to kind of sort of call it a round. It's going to be another example of the ACS thing. However, he will learn, or that he will be informed by one of the crooked finger guys. It's like, oh, yep, the coppers are out, and this is going to be, or damn it, what is his name? Franz is going to say, this is a perfect opportunity for you to impress me, Soren. I need you to sneak into the barracks and help one of the people they have captured there escape.
Who exactly is this person?
He will give you the name. It's just, local thief. He calls himself Heinrich the Slick, but, well, he's not particularly slick.
Do I have any sort of knowledge as to how the watch house works with regards to people?
Well, right now you are going to have been informed, because they, it's right across the street from the from the tavern. They've got somebody keeping an eye out there. They have just seen pretty much most, if not all, of the assembled watch march out, in riot police regalia.
All right, but what about the watch house itself, where prisoners are kept? Is there a constant guard?
I have to look at my map once it comes up to remind myself. Damn it. These are really large maps, and it's like, click on it and I have to wait. I really should have resized them. And I clicked on one, and it opens up, and I go, that is not the one I want. right, let's see. Where the heck is that at? Yeah, so normally they are. Holy crap, does this not actually have? Damn it. Now I'm irritated because I got this really cool barracks map, but it doesn't have any cells. And I'm just now realizing that because I'm apparently a dummy. Yeah, so normally there is going to be someone on watch, yeah. So I think what that is probably going to be, so there's going to be some stairs somewhere that are going to go down, and they're going to have that like in a converted cellar. Oh, wait. That might serve as cells. That kind of looks like cells.
It's still loading.
It does a bit.
Wow, is it still loading for you?
Yeah.
Well, he's on the other side of the planet.
Now I sort of want to unshare it and reshare it to see if you can actually see it.
Well, it took it a while to show up for me.
Yeah, I need to make a note to actually go in and physically resize these things in GIMP or something, so they're not quite as large.
Are they
What format are
JPEGs
they? Are they?
or PNGs?
They are one of those. Let me look at my folder and see.
Well, if you get in there and resize them, you might save them as WebP. Fantasy Grounds does support WebP now.
I did not know that.
Also, if they're PNGs, just change them to JPEGs. JPEGs generally smaller.
It looks like they're JPEGs. Woo, those are really big. Holy cow. 9,918 by 9,918.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, that's not cooperating for him. So
It'll.
I'm going to unshare it. And I think I'm going to quickly, whoops, I hit the wrong button again. I'm going to quickly jump on there. Damn it. Open this. Double click on that. Open up.
Maybe you ought to take a break for a minute.
Yeah, let's quickly take a break because I need to use the bathroom as well. So take 5 and be right back.
All right, going on break.
And then some of you can get your inner fascist cop on.
All right, we are back.
Outstanding. All right. So make sure. Okay. Yep. So you're looking at the the other PCs are going to be marching out. Was it Turberg? Right. I meant to say it was Tourberg on the actual map, not the Artisan Quarter. But ultimately, that doesn't necessarily matter. So this will be interesting because Soren is potentially going to be rushing off to get himself hanged. Hopefully not. The rest of you are marching out into the streets with the hurriedly thrown together group of guard town watch guys who are acting as the riot police. So, conditions. The streets of Bögenhafen are filled with lots of looters and lowlifes who are running wild, smashing things, burning buildings, dragging some merchants out into the streets and beating them, and generally just being assholes. There are actually fires all over the place. Some of them are threatening to get out of hand. There are people who are screaming, either in terror or in maddened rage. Some of the riders are throwing things, rocks, small incendiary bottles, etc., etc. It is sheer chaos, though I suppose we can later call this a fiery but mostly peaceful. This round, quote unquote, will actually cover an interval of a couple of hours as you are going out there and having to do this stuff. The riot itself seems wildly out of control and a bizarre overreaction to the given circumstances. As before, I am only going to be, you're probably only going to be just like, making a single contest and then against the hazard. Except for Soren, who is basically doing something else. I do not know if he has anything resembling a plan. You will find a skeleton crew present. At best, there's like maybe 2 guards in the barracks. Soren.
Okay, so the actual watch house itself, or the cells themselves, aren't right at this minute being guarded.
Not at this minute, no. Well, initially, remember, it is going to take a period of time over a couple hours. There will be eventually more people coming in as they, grab people and take them back and shove them into the cells. Based off of what I had established previously, I think it was when you guys first arrested, there clearly is a larger cell block somewhere. So obviously the barracks map is not 100% totally accurate. It's just more of a guess. But for
It's
those
an
of you,
educated wish.
yep, those of you who are actually in the midst of a riot, what is the individual PCs going to be trying to accomplish in this scene? Not action. It's not going to be like round to round, and we're only going to have one roll for that. But so some ideas that I think we can throw out for that is one, firefighting. Like, okay, I'm in the process of actually trying to man a bucket brigade for an extended period of time, or pull some people out, or two, like, I want to isolate and capture some ringleaders, or maybe rescue some people, some rioters, or rescue some people from the building, or something like that. So, and then Soren can probably also do the same sort of thing with the ACS. His just is going to be, he wants to get this guy out. So Jorg, what is his objective during the riot scene?
Well, what is the objective of the Watch Command?
You are here to shut down this riot.
Right, but more specifically, did they have a goal?
Other than enforcing or bringing order to this to the chaos. It's one of those. It's like, she threw them together and said, "We need to go out there and stomp some people into the dirt." And once you get there, realize she may not have very many points, if any, in the tactics skill.
Right. Okay. So Jorg is not going to have a great meta plan, but in the absence of any leadership otherwise, I think what he's going to want to do is try to establish a safe zone, if not multiple safe zones, and get vulnerable people behind that safe zone.
Okay, so what kind of skill do you think that is going to entail?
Now, are you talking meta scale or
For the objective for the scene?
just this particular round?
Yeah.
So he's gonna, I guess in this case, he's gonna have to organize the watch and I guess get them to form this safe zone. So leadership and or tactics.
Leadership's fine.
And if I had pick.
Okay, so Copper Tong, what is Copper Tong's objective during the action scene? Just imagine this is like, it's a long tracking shot, and where we're showing each quick glimpse of what the each PC is doing during the crazy.
Riot montage.
So if it's kind of like a montage thing, then there would be a shot of Copper Tongue helping kids who are either trapped in a fire or being harassed by rioters or whatever, and getting them to the safe zone that Jorg is setting up.
Okay, so let me glance over that, and she doesn't have that. So in that case, I will probably wonder what skill that would be.
And maybe perception to notice. There could be mace skill to clobber any riders that are messing with kids. There's like she's got acute hearing, so hearing somebody trapped in a fire.
Yeah, I think some kind of perception based thing is probably their observation.
Okay, cool. Christoph, what is Christoph's objective in the long tracking shot of the PCs hopefully being awesome during the crazy riot?
Well, he's just totally like surrounded by way too many people. He's super angry. He's like, what the heck, Yeah. So maybe I would say malicious compliance.
Malicious compliance. Okay, so that
He'll be like,
he's basically clobbering idiots who aren't compliant.
yeah, he'll go wherever Jorg tells him to go. If anybody gets near, he's just gonna like clobber them.
Okay. Okay. So, Christoph, we know what your objective is. How is he planning on going in there? Is he like walking in the front door? Is he sneaking? Is he climbing over stuff?
No, he's not sneaking.
No, sorry, not Christoph. Soren. I'm sorry. My brain just derp. I'm a dummy. We know what Soren's objective is, but I'm just wondering how he's planning on going about doing it.
Well, Soren's plan is going to be, he's going to ask while they're still in the tavern, he's going to say, I need a set of lockpicks.
All right.
He'll ask them for a set of
And
lockpicks, I'm sure.
Franz will, like, just sort of snap, and a dude will go get some.
And his plan will be to head over to the barracks, stealth into the cells, toss the lockpicks to what's his face, Slippery, whatever.
Heinrich the Slick, who isn't very slick.
And tell him the watch are gone. Now's your opportunity to get out. You never saw me.
Okay, so in that case, I will probably end up going just with stealth because you're combining a whole bunch of that stuff. All right, so contest.
And then his intention to, give him a bit of an alibi is to go and help control the riot.
Yep, you'll be there. They'll be like, oh, hey, there you are. You need to get kitted up and get ready to join the next riot thing. Okay, cool. Let's see here. So, contest. All right. So, Christoph, give me your, I guess, your club roll if you are clubbing some people.
Okay.
I think club also defaults to short sword, does it not?
No, not this one.
Well, I just grabbed that. That was the first club that I saw in there.
If you were thinking something a little smaller, you may have gone with baton.
Okay. Batons. I don't know if batons are going to be around at that point, but
it's just a short sword size club.
Okay, so I guess that could have been replaced with those if someone's like, I don't have the skill for this. Yeah, because I just said club and I didn't even dig or think even beyond that. I'm like, oh, cool. Knotted club. That sounds cool. Thought it was like, just a club.
Because I'm way better with those.
Is baton the same? The club was the axe mace skill, which I have. I didn't know. What's the baton skill?
I believe baton uses short sword.
Well, ultimately, you succeeded, so. Right, yeah. So, moving on to the right, that is, what do we need this for? Oh, search and rescue. Yeah, I don't know if that's, is that even really?
For copper. Like I said, it's loose, but it's potentially
right.
useful.
Jorg, you are establishing the safe zone for civilians. Clearly, Christoph has done a pretty good job of clubbing some people, and now it is Jorg's leadership check.
Okay, doing the thing, and we're not currently on any modifiers.
Not currently, nope.
Rolling. Jorg is pretty leader-like.
By 3. Okay, good job.
He will enlist that guy that has the booming voice and get him to yell for him.
Outstanding. All right, Copper Tongue, I believe we determined before he threw together the search and rescue that we're going to use perception. We're going to stick with that for now, so you don't have to take the penalty. We'll just keep that for food for thought later for the search and rescue. I'll see if that's actually even in the abilities.
My thinking there is at least that kind of covers what she's up to in a way, and it's perception based, so that just kind of suggests that's the right way to go.
Yeah, default perception -5. Which book is that from? Do you remember?
That is Disaster's Hurricane.
Okay, so let me make a note, and it doesn't look like we have that one in the thing, so I will need to add that.
No, that won't be there.
And she does have acute hearing too, so if that would
that
play
probably
into
increase it. That could increase it. All right, so at least success by 1.
Yep.
All righty. Good. All right, so now we're on to Soren. Give me your stealth check, sir, as you sort of leisurely sneak in there and just conveniently get over there to mock that guy. Woo, you tried to fail that one. By 0. All righty. So, well, once again, everybody passed their contest. Okay, so with the hazard stage, this is a riot. Sheer number of hazards mean there's just they're idiots that are throwing stuff at you. This is obviously excluding Soren, hopefully. So like I said, there's some fires and such like that. So you can frankly do any regular defense check in this case because, well, you're in the midst of a riot. It can be dodge, it can be parry, you can use block. Failure on the defense is going to result in 1 hit point per margin of fail. Does not ignore DR, and I believe it's probably, well, I don't know if extra effort is appropriate there because this is covering a great deal of time. Right, so Christoph, give me a defense roll.
I guess you could incorporate the from Mass Combat, the glory mechanic.
The Misfortunes of War.
Yeah, glory misfortunes.
I looked through that. And I was thinking about it, but I'm not 100% really positive I'm going to do that because it's irritating at times.
That's essentially what your action is. That's your significant action. It's just not that's basically all it is.
All right.
Yeah, but if you're taking
successful block.
If you're taking efforts not to get hurt, it means you're also less likely to achieve your objective.
Well, like I said, this is a longer period of time and such like that, and we are still in the process of trying to iron out the inevitable kinks. All right, Jorg, make a defense check since Christoph succeeded by 1 on a block.
Well, I get to use the shield now, so here we go.
Do you use the shield in this game?
I have now, and I have succeeded with it.
By 4. All right, so you managed to knock that fellow's head with your shield. All right, Copper Tongue, give me a defense check. Also by 4. All right, so now I need to figure out the hazard for Soren in this case.
Getting caught.
Yeah, I know, but it's like, since I was just turning everything on the hazard into like a defense roll, I'm wondering if that's just going to be stealth, half stealth +3, and fail means they like, hey, what's going on?
Eh?
Okay, so that would be a 9.
Yeah, because I can't. Yeah, he's not going to take physical damage, but woo. Okay.
Somebody just got
That's a
spotted.
critical fail.
Maybe when the guy escapes, he thinks of me as one of the watch and stabs me.
Okay,
Well, that
I
would
can
be a
see-
critical
I can
failure.
s- Yeah, I can see where you're coming. So it's like you entered, you slipped the thing to him, but you were not wearing the tabard. So you checked in with the other guys. You took on your tabard or put on your tabard, and as you're going back out there, the guy has gotten a shank, and all he saw was a guard. That's what you're thinking?
Yeah, so 8
Okay.
points of
Whew.
damage, is it?
Yeah, minus your any
DR.
DR.
Alright, so
Ouch.
have we been healed? I've got 1 point of damage. I don't know what that was from.
I don't know what that's from either.
Maybe that's a carryover from something else.
Because I know Jorg was at 1, but I
Yeah.
don't remember Soren. I don't remember anybody else being injured. So it
Alright,
magically
so
disappeared.
6 damage.
Ow. Well, the other guards are definitely seeing that you have you've gotten shanked, and they chase after the dude blowing the whistle, but they're a little bit more concerned about that, because they can't exactly abandon this place. But oh no, Heinrich the Slick, which I'm going to have to may actually make a note of. Heinrich the Slick is now wanted for attempted murder.
And Soren's just going to be going, asshole!
Okay, so that was round 1 of the riot suppression. That takes actually up to midnight. So the hold on, there we go. So it's now the 29th. Whoops. That's the 29th. I am not going to make anyone. I meant to state this as necessary. I am not going to make anyone actually make a first aid check. I'm just going to presume that if you are injured, as Soren is, there are enough people present that you will be able to receive first aid. So you can just roll the. I think it's 1d minus 2 for this tech level for the successful result. What are you sharing a link to there, Giger? Wow, good roll there, Soren. So you will manage to success. Oh, I see what you're sharing. Yep, that's
It's only
totally
a
what
flesh
Heinrich
wound.
the Slick looks like. So you are, yeah, okay. So lucky you. The dude's like, clearly the guy that bounds over to attend first aid, there's a reason why they left him here, because they know he's really good at it. And he wraps you up, and you're like, oh, you feel a little bit better.
I can actually get back in the fight.
Yep. And you will end up being linking back up with everybody else. Round 2 is actually going to be, cover the period of time from midnight to early morning, as unexpectedly the riots will actually continue well into the night and throughout the night, which for those of you with appropriate skills, that kind of implies there's some sort of outside influence who may be causing lots of trouble. Although they have been dispersed somewhat, so the watch teams themselves are split up into smaller units, and by this point, the PCs. I'm looking at the actual the proper map, the Bögenhafen map. This one again. So the PCs are split up, or not split up, but the watch units are split up into smaller units. So currently, Jorg is in complete command of the current group that the PCs find themselves a part of. There was my notes. It's like PCs will have had enough of a breather by this point to have received first aid. If they were injured, no need to make a roll. Just, it is 1D minus 2. So the conditions for this round, it is night. Thick mists always rise from the River Bogan when the sun sets, and it generally will, they have these thick tendrils of fog throughout the city or throughout the town, which kind of makes it a little creepy and eerie looking. So everything is like in this weird haze, and it doesn't help that there are still fires going on. And as you are in this particular area, you will find a very large brawl going on, as it looks like two groups of rival merchant houses are once again trying to brawl it out in the streets and trying to set fire to the other guy's stuff. And actually, several of you will recognize a few of the guys that you may have brawled with at the journey's end when you showed up there to put out a fight. But this time they're trying to set fires and beat the other guy and all that jazz. Seems a little odd to be trying to do that now, but there you are. So, Jorg, you are in overall command of this particular group. What is his objective for this scene? As before, think of it as more like, quick sort of montage.
This is not a situation where we have civilians necessarily caught up in this. This is mostly just
they're trying to start
merchant
fires,
troops.
so
Well, obviously they could potentially be bothered. Okay. So really, we just need to stop the stupid.
you just go beat them down.
Intimidate them.
I think we're going to take a. We need to tactically, I guess, wedge in between the two Well, the two parties are not really fighting; they're just trying to burn each other's shit.
And fighting. Some of them, it's scattered all over the place. It's like,
okay, basically we need to put water on the fire.
Okay, so
not the literal one, but maybe also the literal one.
Yeah, possibly. So
basically people with torches and shit who are obviously up to no good. They get smacked down.
All right. So in that case, that's going to be like isolate and capture. Okay, so that's probably going to be perception in this case to go. All right, that guy there, we need to take him out.
Or observation would work there as well, I would think.
Observation or perception. Yep, that's fine. Copper Tongue, what is Copper Tongue doing in this quick thingy?
Copper Tongue is, I think, going to be bashing some skulls.
bashing some skulls. That's always a good time. All right. So, Soren, since you have been linked up with the rest of the team, what is his plan or objective during this mess?
I think he is going to bash skulls.
It's going to be really funny if I ask Christoph this and he goes, done, bash skulls. Okay, Christoph, what are you doing during this particular scene?
Yeah, I mean, he like again, he's like Baby George said, "Hey, stand over there, make sure nobody gets past, this area or
Well,
something like that."
actually, I think Jörg knows that Christoph has the highest perception of the bunch here. So he's basically going to use Christoph as the spotter.
Okay, so you're saying he would use perception or observation. In that case, Jorg's is probably going to be leadership, not.
Yeah, probably.
Okay.
Okay.
That's so sad. I was hoping to get 3 people who are all bashing skulls.
Well, he was gonna.
I will say that based on his, bad temper, loner, all that crap going kind of combined, he may have some sort of a reputation amongst certain people that may have seen him as, yeah, you don't, this guy's he's always angry, like don't mess with him, like
Quick, we need to get him some magical
Yeah.
Prozac.
Yeah.
I think it's Prozac. Oh, I can't remember. Okay, Christoph, give me perception or observation, whichever one is better.
Okay. Observation is better a little bit. Success by 4.
Outstanding. All right. So, Soren, bash some skulls. Wait, no. Yeah, bash some skulls.
He does not have. Oh no, he's using the short sword, the
Yep.
baton.
Yep.
So he will chuckle a little bit before charging into the fray, and he'll say, "If you're watching, Reynold," he'll be saying this under his breath so people don't hear, "I'm just doing my job."
Well, he could steal from him after he knocks him over the head.
Yeah, but there's no violence.
Unnecessary violence. Maybe this was necessary. All right, by 1. So you bash some skulls. All right, Copper Tongue. How about you bash some skulls?
Is it is the mace skill comparable here?
Yeah.
Okay, good.
Ooh,
Success by 7. Skulls
you
are bashed.
Really bash some skulls. All right, Jorg, give us a leadership check to coordinate this skull bashing session. It's a little leery on the subject of kneecaps, right?
Exactly. And I have performed adequately.
Okay, so then we go move to the hazard stage. This is just a big brawl. It's gotten out of hand, so everybody can just give me an appropriate defense check. Defense, block, dodge, parry.
What
Defending.
size? What size was the shield that we took?
Medium.
Medium is the ones
plus
they.
2.
All right, we got Copper Tongue with a block by 0. Jorg with the block by 2, Christoph with the block by 2, and Soren with a or a dodge by 0. Outstanding. So nobody else takes any additional injury. Okay.
How boring for the GM.
I know, right? Well, I was totally not expecting Rocky to once again beat you with the first crit fail. Because if this had been, the betting like in Giger's game, I would have totally bet again that it would have been you. But Soren's like, nope, nope, nope. Okay, so now this is going to be the final round. It is early morning to noon. The riot has mostly petered out in
Good
the
God.
town proper. Everybody is going to be exhausted doing this. But again, it is notable for how long the crazy has been going on. In fact, Jorg has probably chatted or discussed this with Elsie, because it's like it seems really, really odd. So, as stated, by this point it has been mostly stopped during in the city proper. Although you are definitely going to quickly learn that it is still fairly out of control on the North Bank, thanks to rabble rousers, general troublemakers, such like that. The watch captain, that is Rainer Gortrin, who's like overall in command of the town watch, he's very clearly like kind of leery about sending anybody over here to the pit, as everybody or a bunch of people calls it, because it's the slums. So they have. He's very clearly of the mindset of just let the whole thing burn, and then we can rebuild it and make it better. But damn it, I forgot how to say her Uberashung. So Sergeant Elsie is like, nope. We are going to take all of the watch across the river via ferries. So that means the first group across, which naturally is going to include the PCs, will need to hold like the landing zone area and such like that against the destitute and angry and kind of crazy. While the reinforcements are being ferried across, you will be arriving over here near 31, which is the Shalian Mercyhouse. And there's actually an image of it. It's not particularly looking great. What the heck? Oh, it's like, what the heck is Mark talking about? Why is he chirping me now? I'm in the middle of the game. Right. So, notably, when the first group gets over there, which includes PCs, how about that? Because you got to be the PCs over there. They will find that the Mercyhouse already does. It's not quite under siege, but it does seem to have a number of walking wounded and ne'er-do-wells, including a couple of familiar people to Soren. He will actually recognize the two thief guys that. And I completely forgot. They actually do have a name. I just kept forgetting to
Tweedledum and Tweedledee.
Yep. No, it's they're called the Rhines because they're Reinhold and Reinhardt. But they're like they'll just sort of give him a casual nod and such like that. But what may be possibly more interesting to the various PCs is who is sort of kind of running the Mercyhouse, and that is Sister Brigitte, which you guys actually will recognize. She looks a little harried, a bit dirty, as these crazy people seem to start charging over there, and they're shouting, about finding some sort of treasure or getting the treasure, and it's kind of weird. So you will find yourselves defending the Mercyhouse, in addition with some additional guards as they start coming over there. The sun is coming up when this happens, and it's like starts boiling. Damn it, I totally forgot to use that again, didn't I? One day I will actually remember.
Well, you just
remember
use
that.
it twice.
No, she succeeded the second time. Yeah, so the thick fog is slowly kind of being burned off, but it is still there. When this stuff happens, and so it's like the streets are just covered in this kind of almost pea soup eeriness, and I need to frickin' close this because it's being dumb. I need to stop doing that. Stop talking, people. And for oh yeah, you also have smoke that is like, from the various burned buildings, and sadly from some burned boats as well, that are like, filling the air and such like that. And oddly, as the whole crazy chaos goes on here, and you guys actually are doing whatever it is you're about to do, every now and then there'll be like a lull in the action, and it's like, get a little quiet, and you're almost convinced you hear like this creepy laugh somewhere in the distance.
Is it a foul voice on the wind?
It might be. All right, so this is the most hold the line that can be hold the line. I mean, it's not quite the Alamo, although honestly there might
Well, it
be.
is a mission.
It is a mission. So Christoph, what is Christoph's objective here? You could just like, beat some of the looters down. You could like go, screw that. I wanna isolate and or capture some ringleaders, or maybe protect some wounded, or do something really cool.
Kristoff is not the cool type.
Yeah, I can't say that. I mean, you managed to assassinate a guy and you didn't get caught. That's pretty cool. Well, he probably
Well,
doesn't think so.
he did it more out of anger than anything, and
And he can
obviously.
also like, yeah, I was also gassed. It's not my fault.
If I can interrupt that a little.
You may. Okay, what are you trying to interrupt me for? With?
Well, not you so much as other people making decisions. Jorg's training is essentially bodyguard and that sort of thing. I think what he's probably going to focus on is to hold the entrance or the entrances. And so he would be directing PCs and anyone else who's going to actually listen to further that end. So
Okay, that sort of sounds almost like leadership again.
Yeah, probably. But if that affects anybody's decision about what they want to do, that's out there.
All right. So
you want us to do bodyguard?
Bodyguard, hold the entrance. If it were a bridge, I'd say hold the bridge. But all we've got is there just the one door, or is there multiple entrances we need to watch?
That is a really good question. Hold on, let me see what the adventure says about the Mercyhouse, because I know it's not in great shape. Okay, so given the relative poverty of the pit's inhabitants, it is no surprise that the cult of Shalia finds plenty of work north of the River Bogen. The Mercyhouse runs out of a small converted warehouse not too far from the Weston Dom. Its doors are open from sunrise to sunset to offer shelter and food to the needy. I suppose it probably does. I mean, if it's a converted warehouse, it probably has at least 2 doors. And then just looking at the image, it's obviously got some windows and such like that. So I'm going to say 2 sides with entrances, front and back, and then whatever windows are present. Since it's a converted warehouse, there are probably not going to be a lot of windows on the sides. Maybe just
So we
like
split the forces we have between the two doors.
Okay.
Or the two entries.
All right. So that cycles back to Christoph. What is Christoph going to do?
Well, based on that, I get if Jorg would have said, "Hey, stand here, don't let anybody get across,"
Bash skulls.
Bash skulls. That's what he would do.
Okay. Copper Tongue.
Copper Tongue will take Erg's lead and do guard duty / bash any skulls that come too close.
Gotcha. Soren.
Yorg's the boss. Soren will bash skulls.
Yay, we got 3 bash skulls. It's too bad you have to make a leadership check there, Jorg. Then we could have had 4.
Yeah.
So give me a leadership check.
Well, I could lead by example.
I suppose you could.
But
Sure, you don't want to just bash skulls? I mean,
I
it's so much
kind of
fun.
do, but
Then
somebody
bash
has
skulls.
somebody has to lead, so I'll do it. Doesn't mean I'm not bashing skulls.
This is true.
And now it's not my time.
They can't hear you over the screaming of the crazy people. Okay, so Christoph, give me a bash skulls roll. Bash skulls.
Does bash skulls roll?
I guess if I failed, that means my objective was to keep people from getting in. Therefore, some people got in.
Yeah, that makes sense. Or it's like you put too many people on one side and not enough on
Didn't plug the
the
gaps
other.
fast
Yeah.
enough.
Yep. Copper Tongue, give me a bash skulls roll. All right, that's 2 success by 1s. All right, and Soren, I need you to give me a success by 1 bash skulls. Bah, you succeeded by 3. That's so sad.
I was bashing the same skull as someone else.
As before, this is just a big brawl, or it's actually a fight. So, go ahead and everybody give me a defense check. Defense roll, whatever. Block, parry, dodge.
Block.
Oof, failure. There's my dice.
All right. Wow. Okay. So Copper Tongue failed by 2. So she is going to take 2 points, but I believe she's got higher DR than that. So I don't think any of that's even to get through there. Damn, Jorg by 7. You blocked the hell out of that dude. I think he broke his arm or something.
I was busy.
Yep. Christoph, success by 0, and Soren, success by 0. So it's a little hairy. Some people do get in. Some of the wounded are even a little bit more messed up. But ultimately, you are successful, and the crazy attacking looters are either repulsed or, well, more than a few of them are on the ground with bashed skulls. And it will, by that point, 1 or 2 of the various people after they are basically, are sort of arrested or such like that. They seem to be like, sort of coming out of a daze and seem like kind of really confused. Of course, they did just get clubbed over the head. But from Sister Brigitte, you will learn that they started acting really super weird. They, these people, and it's like she knows some of these people because she, helps treat their injuries and such like that. And some of these people are normally really good people, but they started running up here and they're like screaming about some sort of buried treasure or something. It's like, point to the converted warehouse that has a small number of pallets for the really, really wounded or needy. And it's just like, There's no treasure here.
Was anyone
Sorry, it's where the
other than
shovel-
Enfys spot the spellcasting going on before?
No. Speaking of Enfys, you have no idea where he's at. And neither do I.
He's behind all of it.
Damn it, how did you know? But so you will be have to do some additional little assistance, like mopping up some of the stuff, shuttling some of the people over. I think number 30 is actually the other guard barracks, and they were hammered. They actually have a lot of actual casualties, and when you briefly interact with them, they're extremely relieved to see more people, guards showing up, but they also say the same sort of thing, that it's like suddenly some of these people, they just went mad, like like rabid dogs, and they started charging in there, and they can actually point to a few locations where some people, just after they had caused enough of the trouble, they started like trying to dig. Okay, so it is but by the time that you guys are eventually back over to the regular barracks, um it is by noon. It's it's like around noon. Everyone is going to be down 3 fatigue points because you haven't had any sleep at all. You are uh, you're not going to be any down from any fighting stuff, because you'll have had just enough time to time to sit down and recover, and and all that jazz. But the otherwise, you're just like super exhausted because of, well, you've been up for more than 30 hours at this point, and fighting, marching, bashing some skulls, getting stabbed by a guy. And the worst part is you have night duty tonight. Yep. Great news, isn't it?
Well, the
And
first thing Jurgen's going to do when he gets back to the barracks is he's going to get a bowl. He's going to put some ale in the bowl so he can drink it without sitting up. Just sort of
Yeah.
stick his head down there and hopefully not drown in it.
So the barracks is going to be quite busy, because they are throwing a bunch of people in the large cell. They have actually cleared out the horses from the stables, and they're turning those into temporary temporary um, holding cells for the time being. All of the various guards that are present, not all of them, but most of them look just as tired as everybody else does. And but so you can try to get a bit of sleep, like a couple hours of sleep, if you wish, but it will be difficult because of the sheer noise. So you will be able to make a health check to try to actually recover one of the sleep loss fatigue. Or you can just say, nope, I'm gonna splash some water on my face and maybe suck it up.
Søren's not the suck it up sort of person.
All right, then give me a health check. If you succeed, you will be able to recover one of the sleep loss fatigue. don't, you are unable to really get good night's sleep or good sleep because, well, it's way too noisy. You got people coming in, banging around, accidentally hitting the pallet or the little bunk that you're on. Those of us that have been in the military know about that.
Mm-hmm.
All right, Christoph, give me a health check if you're going to do that, and also for Copperton.
Copper Tongue is going to power through.
All right.
Failure by 1.
All right, so you are down 3, Soren is down 2, Jorg is down 3, and Coppertong is down 3. Good times.
Great.
Yep. So a little bit, but you get a little bit of sleep. Those of you who actually decide to crash, not as much as you would like. You end up going back on shift right a little before sundown, and good old Sergeant Klumpenklug will end up linking up with you guys. And unlike most of you, he doesn't look remotely tired. Although he will insist he was absolutely in the midst of all this mess. You just didn't see him. Okay, so the night you get you're doing the various patrols, such like that, and it is oddly quiet. After, or maybe not oddly quiet, after the previous night's shenanigans and hijinks. As stated before, as soon as the sun goes down, you start getting the mist and such like that. Going through the entire town. You still have a long, lingering stench of some burned houses and buildings and such like that. Let's see. So over the very long night, as you are doing the patrolling, you will lose another 3 fatigue from loss of sleep.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see. So at half or more of down fatigue, as long as whenever you are inactive for 2 hours, you have to make a will roll or you doze off. If you are down a third of fatigue, I don't know if anybody is at that point. Is anyone at that point?
Down to a third or down a third?
Down to a 1/3 fatigue.
Okay. No.
Close.
Copper Tongue's not at half yet.
Okay.
You're
Yeah,
just at half.
She's still really tired, though. It's just like, okay, I can keep powering through, but damn, you'd really like to take a nap. All right.
Currently at 9 fatigue.
I think
True.
Christoph is considering mutiny.
Well, Klumpenklug, being who he is like, he absolutely has no compunction whatsoever finding some dark, comfortable spot somewhere, maybe a tavern or, alehouse, and, just plonk down and sleep.
I think we need to do a
nothing-
stakeout in the tavern.
Yeah, I'm certain nothing bad will happen while you doze off. Yeah, you do a stakeout, that's absolutely going to be like, a will roll, or you're going to doze off. So ultimately, the question there goes to Jorg. Does Jorg go, yeah, let's find someplace dark and quiet and sleep? Or does he go, nope,
No.
we got a job? Clumping Clug doesn't seem to approve, but all right. The otherwise, the patrol is it's long, it's boring, it's kind of quiet, and it just occurred to me I completely forgot to mention, if you're looking at the map right now, I did mention how I added the additional pins. If you actually look at those, it will also identify like the not only the neighborhood, but it's just like it's also going to identify the general how frequently the watch patrols are going through that area. That gives you an idea of like you're wandering around. If they have that, it's like So for example, we're looking at the Göttenplatz on the stream. It's like down at the bottom. It's like, okay, during the day it's filled with common people all over the time. At night people use. Oh wait, it doesn't actually say there, huh? I have to double check. I may have missed that one. So I'm going to look at Altstat in the pit. The north area did it. Watch patrols are scarce since the watch are regarded as, quote, the enemy in this part of town. When they do turn out, it is usually in strength. And also at night, the number of thieves and footpads increases noticeably. Yeah, the pits on the northern side. That's where you managed to fight at the place. And now also going to Copper Tongue, where you had said that you were thinking of your new short-term ambition was to help get the Mercyhouse repaired. Now, look, there was a big fight, probably some fire, and now it makes perfect sense. He's like, I need to come back here.
Yep.
I wish I could say that was planned.
Mm-hmm.
You got ahead of me. I'm like, oh wow, cool. Luckily, you do not encounter any craziness tonight. So by the time of sunup, when you return back to the barracks and everybody's really, really tired, it's just one of those where it's like, maybe you'll get lucky and all of your night shifts will be like that. Probably not, though.
Mm-hmm.
So tonight, right before you, or when you get there, Clump and Clug will advise you that, all right, get some sleep. Tonight we get to stand watch on one of the damn gates, which is boring.
God.
And he will briefly explain what how that normally works is, and you will all be aware at this point, since you've interacted with some of the other guards, all of the town watch hate guard duty. They kind of wish that the town council would just shut the damn doors. It's like sun goes down, doors get shut, and sun comes up, then we open them again. But since this is a merchant town, there's always people coming. Not as many at night, but there's generally some traffic coming in at night. So normally and you guys did see some of this when you arrived, is the Merchants Council will send a person to or one of their guys who has the money box, the dwarven money box, and that's the entire thing is like he goes over the stuff, he looks at it, and then they pay it, and you make sure that they're not trying to smuggle mutants or beastmen or anything like that in there.
Or witches.
And then he wanders off. He's like, "Yep, see you then." So since you have struggled through the full night of night's duty, it is not going to be difficult to sleep during the day at all. It's like as long as you lay down, you're going to be out like a light, and somebody is probably going to have to shake you awake when it's about time for you to get up. Based off of what I saw, you can basically sleep the entire day and replenish all but one of your fatigue from lost sleep. You need 14 hours. Where did I get the all but one?
Not sure, but
Maybe all but two.
it says on the sleep, it says you get your full sleep period restores 1. Actually, I think it should be 13. So that's 8 hours. And then further uninterrupted sleep is 1 fatigue per hour. So you need 8 hours plus another 5 in my case.
Okay. So you're probably going to get 10 or 11 without any difficulty. And then by that point, at 11, somebody's definitely going to be like, all right, you need to get up and get ready, start getting ready.
Well, at some point we're going to get hungry too, probably.
Yep. Well, you'd have about an hour when you after. So it's like, presumed for 11. So that would be recover 3. Is that right?
4, because you get 1 for the 8 hours. Plus 3
Right.
extra.
Okay. Yeah. So you can recover 4. And then you'll still be a little tired, but that's better. And then, hopefully get another decent night's sleep tomorrow. Hopefully. Maybe. Or not.
Do we get
Probably
health
not.
rolls to potentially heal?
Let's see. Yeah. So how was I doing that? It's going to be. What did we determine? Was it -2?
Well, that wasn't a
Since
whole.
since you're not.
Yeah.
Since you're like not sleeping the entire day. I think it was -2 we were doing.
That probably still works. In which case, I need to do one as well.
Yep, and I think Soren does as well. All right.
Brain.
So and plus fit, so that's a success.
Yep. All right. So if plus fit, so that's 12 -2 is 10. Okay, yeah. So Soren will
Should have
gain
been
recover
-2.
1. Yeah. He's that's why he
gotcha.
said yeah. He forgot to add the fit, and then it's like -2, puts it at 0. Yeah. So Soren will recover 1. Okay. Oh wow. Okay, that's actually a little earlier than I thought it was. So you are at the West Gate, which is that number. Well, you can't say 40 because both of the gates are listed as 40. When you arrive at the gate, or not when you get to the gate, but when you start checking in with Sergeant Klumpenklug, he has a really big shit-eating grin at the barracks. And he's like, good news, boys. The following the and lady, after that nonsense the other night, the town council has said, nah, we're closing the damn gates tonight. So for at least temporarily, they are when the sun goes down, the doors are shut, or the way is shut. And nobody's coming in. We can't let nobody in. So that'll make things
Which
easy.
we still have to stand the watch, though.
Yep, but at least we don't have to deal with, idiot complaints. You will get there and end up replacing the current gate guards, who are, it's like look pretty tired. They're probably in the same kind of boat that you were. And notably, this is the odd time where normally a coach would arrive and a new kid or new person representing the count or the merchants council or merchants guild would get out and swap out with the other guy with another dwarf money thing. But in this case, the guy is like, oh, hey, cool, as the coach just comes to pick him up. And he's like, yeah, as soon as the sun goes down, we are shutting these doors. Naturally, when that's going to happen for you guys, but naturally when that happens, you're going to have some people who are like, right outside, who kind of try to rush the doors to get in at the last minute. And of course, there's going to be the people that believe this doesn't actually apply to them. So it doesn't. It's not long before after you get the doors shut and the carriage departs with the guy with the money box. You'll start hearing people bang on the doors outside. It's like, hey, I need to come in. You need to let me in.
No, piss off.
It's probably 10ish or so in the night, because I do believe the temple or the temple of Sigmar has bells, and that's how you can generally tell the time. And Sergeant Klumpenklug is like, okay, I need to go check in, and I will be back in a couple minutes. And then he's going to be gone for probably a couple hours, maybe 3, maybe 4, maybe 5. So he'll be super conveniently, he'll be like absent for large portions of this.
Mm-hmm.
So around midnight, you'll hear the very loud clatter of a lot of hooves outside arriving, and when you inevitably glance out there, try to see what's going on, you will see a large band of what looks like witch hunters. They are accompanied by a large number of soldiers, and they have 3 fairly large wagons, and the leader is going to ride up to the gate and demand to be allowed to enter into this Sigmar accursed town. Let's see if that's actually going to work.
There you go.
So currently, Corporal Jorg is kind of in charge, because no one has said, by the way, you're no longer a corporal and that's temporary. They just sort of, accident or either intentionally left it, or.
Do I get rank?
Well, I don't know. Well, it's at least
that would be rank
temporary.
1 probably.
Maybe.
It would
No,
only
that would
be good
0, I
for
think.
this unit in this town.
Right. So the witch hunter has demanded to be allowed entrance.
Yeah. I am going to presume that we will be speaking to folk outside from the overhead.
Yep, that sounds
Hoarding.
logical to me.
Hoarding is the word. that I was looking for. I keep trying to remember what that's called. I will, or Jorg will yell down to the speaker and say, there is no admittance until the morning. I am terribly sorry. We are not allowed to open this gate. You will have to come back in the morning.
He straightens up. He's like, "You will open this gate now."
I will not, sir.
And he looks visibly enraged. He's like, "Tell me your name, guardsman."
Bob Stevens.
I am Jorg Lange of Bögenhafen, corporal to the blah, 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 I forget, the 99th. And under the authority of the town watch, I am not allowed to open this gate.
And he's gonna sit there and glare at you, and he's like, "Very well, Corporal Jorg Lang," and he like repeats it almost verbatim. He's like, "Your name is known." And they wheel their and it's kind of awkward for the poor wagons, but they wheel their horses and start heading in that direction. Probably gonna go try the other one.
Mm-hmm.
There is technically another gate here, number 43, but it is a really, really small gate. It's actually like, you can get one person in abreast because it was added some years ago for the Schaffenfest. And, because the guards are like, we would kind of need to be able to gain access there really frequently. Oh yeah, I forgot to put everybody over here at the gate.
That seems familiar.
So they're definitely not going to be taking the wagon through that. All right. I was halfway wondering, like, okay, is he going to give him his actual name, or is he going to go, you know what, F this. My name is Sergeant Rudy Klumpenkluck.
Jorg is stubborn.
Ah, very well.
And he will
Good job.
not give.
All right. So,
Sir.
I want to double check this. This guy. Okay, so it shows. I'm double checking. It's like unidentified map image. Okay, so I'm going to try that. And do I have to reshare it?
For what?
Ah, there it is. Name appeared. Yes, so I did do like Giger suggested, and I created another, just the scroll at the bottom, and it's currently blank. So I put that as a different layer, and then obviously I didn't have him identified, but I'll have to double check that. All right, that seems to have worked like fairly well. Yay! Okie dokie. All right. So, it's probably about 2 or 3 hours before you officially go off shift when Sergeant Klumpenkluck comes back over and rejoins you, and he looks at least slightly panicked, and he's like, "Hey, apparently there are more witch hunters in town. A whole mess of them came in through the east gate."
Oh, really? I hadn't heard.
Yeah, they brought a bunch of soldiers, and I guess they're gonna be a problem here in a little bit.
Is that going to be a
Okay.
problem for us?
Witch hunters are always a problem. I mean, Yeah, no, I'm sure they'll be perfectly fine. You're not a witch, are you? Not a chaos cultist, right?
Last time I checked, I wasn't. How do you know? How do you know if you're a witch?
I think you
And
have to have a pointy nose.
he will give you a list of ways to tell, and it's probably all BS. At least Kristoff's thinking, nope, that's not true. Nope, that's probably not true either.
No.
Well, we did do the hat.
Got it.
Okay,
I'm probably not a witch then.
probably not. Okay, so by the time you go off shift, a little before dawn, the new guards that come over there are like, also talking about the arrival of a whole bunch of witch hunters. Like, yeah, they're like, apparently come here to investigate the that guy that got killed.
Well, I
Yeah.
hope they catch the bastard that killed him, because they ruined my freaking weekend.
Why is Kristoff whistling?
Strange.
Okay. So, you're able to go back to the barracks. And Clump and Clug is like, well, we'll check in the morning, or not the morning, later in the evening, and we'll find out what we're doing. I hope it's not Cake Guard again. That's the worst.
Una película de eso, pero es que él ya creció y ya lloró porque es
Hot mic.
Kid Matt aggro. It's the best. So you are released to go to sleep or do whatever it is that you wish to try to accomplish today. Probably go to sleep, try to recover some more fatigue.
Yeah, let's get topped off
So if you're
on a
down,
number of ways.
so 8 will recover 1, in that which case Soren just needs 8 hours of rest.
So I need
And
9.
okay. Well, you're about, so that will 9, 10, 11, 12. So you have about 3 or so hours to, do
Drink.
whatever. Drink,
We
eat, get cleaned up.
Do we get another health -2 roll?
Yep.
Right.
Make it -1 this time, because you don't fully rest all day, but honestly, you just sat around and did nothing.
True.
So
That's as
that
light
would
as
be a
light
fail.
duty gets.
That would be a success by 0 with fit, right?
Yeah, but you
No,
said
wait.
-1.
Yeah, -1. Yeah, you're right.
I have finally succeeded. I am at full health. Yay.
Kristoff wasn't
Critical
injured.
failure.
You didn't actually need to make that. Kristoff wasn't injured.
So he
I
explodes
thought that
during
was
his
for the
sleep.
fatigue.
No. It's just like, yeah, it's pretty easy to get to sleep when you're super tired. No, this was because Jorg and Soren were lightly injured. They're trying to sort of,
Oh
naturally.
man, I wasted a critical failure.
Yeah, you did.
You should wake up injured.
Apply it to your next roll.
No, he should wake up injured.
Ow! Why does my neck hurt?
That's just getting old.
Yeah, I know. So when you guys get back up and get mobile and such like that, not only will the various guards that are present be talking about the arrival of a troop of witch hunters last night, but you'll hear that another troop of them arrived around noon this afternoon.
Sigmar.
So there's like 20 or 30 of those guys in town right now.
Boy, I sure hope whoever did that shit was is scared out of his mind right now.
And the
Sure
camera
hate to be him.
does a sharp cut to Christoph sitting there, not looking at anybody.
Honestly, I hope we find that guy so we can throw him to the witch hunters and they'll leave everybody else alone.
Okay. All right. So the oh yeah. Also, Jorg is totally gonna get summoned into the captain's office, and he's gonna yell and shout at you for a little bit for not opening the gate to this troop of witch hunters, because they did identify your name and reported up the chain of command, and the captain got yelled at, so he's yelling at you.
Begging your pardon, sir, but was there an exception in my orders for anyone at all?
And he's like, "Do your damn job. Dismissed."
Yes, sir.
Grumble, grumble, grumble. So early on the evening of today, you guys are. I mean, the streets are relatively quiet. For the evening, which is fairly ironic. But it's like very very early on shift. You don't have guard duty today, or gate guard, but it's back to more irritating patrols. But you are currently, or you were quickly called to a or not called, but I guess it'd be summoned, whistled, whatever, to if this was in the real world, it would absolutely be a car accident. It would be one of those, like a road rage incident, because apparently there is a couple of merchants were basically trying to get their wagons to the appropriate merchantine parties, and one of them cut the other one off, and he flew into such a rage that he went over and promptly beat the fellow to possibly death, or at least near death, with a club, and it was in a very very tough spot of town, or to do this, because this is the merchantine quarter. So it's like they do not like seeing this kind of behavior here. So you arrived, and Sergeant Klumpenklug, who's kind of in charge, he's like sort of placed PCs at various locations with instructions to keep the onlookers from getting in the way. So clearly you have that kind of police duty. He has Soren with him because, frankly, he probably likes Soren the best out of the other PCs, because Jorg is stubborn and clearly a better leader than him. Copper Tongue is a dwarf, and she's got a bad temper. Well, he likes dwarfs, but she's got a bad temper, and by this point, he's probably figured out that she's honest. Christoph is a loner and has a bad attitude, so he doesn't much like him. And while Infus is kind of a nice guy, he's very charismatic. He's also a wizardly type, and that creeps him out. So he probably is of the opinion that Soren is the most like him. So Soren can take that how he would like. So he's up there with he's got him basically acting as his, I don't want to say number two. That's not true, but he's up there as he's talking to basically discussing the stuff with the merchant, and it takes next to no time for Soren to realize that one of the reasons Klumpenklug probably put some of the PCs a bit out of hearing distance and to focus on stuff, is he seems to be more like trying to solicit a bribe from the merchant, who is probably totally in shell shock at the moment. Amid the bustle of the square, though, because there's always people trying to look and such like that, there are two men, sort of like, looking really hard at Soren. And as soon as he, like, sort of glances at him, one of them, he sort of scratches his left ear with the little finger of his right hand, while staring straight at Soren. And but he probably
Does
doesn't
Soren
react to that at first.
recognize that at all?
Actually, yes, you do, sort of. If you recall, at the roadhouse, before you ran into he who may be your brother or may not be your brother, the roadhouse the night before, there was some dudes who were like staring at you, and one of
They
them
did the
did
thing.
that a couple times. And then when you approached them, they got really confused and ended up like, "Oh, sorry, my bad." And you had obviously determined, I think actually you specifically stated during that session that you guessed that they probably thought you were the other guy.
All right, Soren's going to go up to them.
Well, they're not right there. They're like kind of a bit of a distance away. But you can totally go, "Oh, hey, I need to go over there."
Yeah, I just need to check this out.
All right. So, what kind of expression does Soren have at the moment as he is approaching those guys?
He's pretty casual.
They seem to start getting a little confused as you start approaching, and they start backing away into the crowd, like, "Oh crap! Oh crap! Oh crap!" And you can absolutely see they are likely very much on the verge of turning and running.
Then Soren's going to do the scratch the ear thing back to them.
Which is going to cause them to look even more confused, and they do it again, but it's slightly more pronounced, maybe a little more exaggerated, which kind of implies to Soren. I think I have to look at what's his intelligence. He's got a 12, right?
Yep.
Yeah, he's probably like, okay, I clearly did not give them the right counter signal. Because he's a thief, he knows about signals and counter signals.
Then Soren's just going to sort of gesture, "Get over here."
It's not quite to that level, Daniel. Although I don't remember if, yeah, I shared it with the other group, but it's just like the original version was utterly ridiculous. Hold on, I have to do this really quickly. It's like, oh my god, are you serious? Okay, so as soon as you you do that, they're like, they exchange a look, and then they like turn around and start walking into, trying to, basically walk away.
Well, Soren's going to be taking particular attention to their look, so he's going to try and commit them to memory.
And you realize that what's his name? Klumpenklug has sort of like kind of followed because the other dude is. I mean, he hasn't quite followed. He's like, what's going on there?
Look, I have no idea, but there's a strange. Actually, let me do a roll for this.
Probably a good idea. Like, oh, do I want to tell him? I don't know. You can always point and say, I think those are evil cultists. Wow.
All right.
Critical success on impulsive self-control rolls. So he doesn't have to do or say anything.
He is going to say, I noticed some suspicious activity. There was some people in the crowd that were doing this signal. Now, I'm not new to the streets. I grew up in the streets, and I know when people are signaling. I don't know who they were signaling to, but they were doing this. And he'll discreetly sort of show Klumpenklug and said, have you ever seen that before?
This is I just shared. This is the thing from the first edition thing. And it's like, I think even when I first ran it, I thought, how are you still a secret society if you're using a stupid signal like this?
Well, at least it's not going to be accidentally signaled.
Yeah, but you think about it, it's like the current signal is like you're intentionally reaching over to your opposite ear, and that's kind of weird. He said, he looks, Klumpenklug looks a little, she's like, no, never seen anything like that. Who's those fellas over there, with the wearing the purple hats?
He'll indicate someone else, some random person that looks like a piece of shit.
Oh wow, why'd you point to Kristoff?
No, he doesn't look like a piece of shit. He is a piece of shit.
He always looks very angry.
He is always angry.
Yeah, he'll just gesture to some random. It's like walking away. So yeah, you've never seen that before, huh?
I have
Weird.
not. Maybe we should, run them in. Question them.
I don't know. Seems like work.
Now you're speaking his language.
He's like, yeah, that's true. Well, we need to take this moron back to the barracks. Apparently he doesn't understand what it means to pay somebody off. So instead, the town will just seize everything, I guess.
Which
Dumbass.
moron?
The guy, the merchant that you guys were sort of kind of questioning.
Well, before we take him in, we better make sure that he doesn't have anything dangerous on him.
Yep.
And Soren will pat him down. And wink to Klumpenklug.
All right, so you are lifting then.
Look, this bag of coins has very sharp edges on it.
Is that pickpocket or filch? I think that's pickpocket.
Oh, Soren's not doing it discreetly. He's saying, since you're coming with us, we need to empty your pockets, make sure you've got nothing dangerous on your person.
All right, okay, so gotcha. So it's like you take the pouch, take his knife, take various papers, and he's like suddenly starting to come out of his stuff, and he's like, wait, you can't do that, and good old Sergeant Rudy's like, oh nope, too late for that, buddy. We're gonna put you in a cell next to some of the crazy looters that we had in town.
We certainly
Worse,
need
next to the mine.
We need to document all your personal assets, and then Soren will say, I better count how much coin you have, just to make sure that none of that goes missing. And he'll sort of count the coin. How much coin does he have?
He has an amount of coin that I should probably figure it out. Well, he's going to have a lot. Let's see. And I'm opening the wrong
tier
thing.
level.
Yeah. No, I'm just using one of the merchants in the companion that actually has all that crap. I just have to find it. Where is you at? Merchants. 60. Page 60. All
And
right,
while Soren's doing this counting, he'll sort of say, it's going to be really unfortunate for you. There's some unsavory types that we have back at the watch house.
Whew. That's yeah, so oh boy. Let's see. So trappings, that seems like an awful lot. Yeah. No, I see why. That's wrong. Because it identified it as D100. Nah, it's supposed to be 10. So what's that? 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 plus 7.
I guess you could just
19?
drop the decimal.
Yep.
So 20.5.
Yes. So in that case, he definitely has a his pouch. It's a fairly large, hefty one. You do not know exactly how much it is. I mean, you're probably not going to just count it right out there in the middle of the street, because that'll probably cause.
That would be brazen.
That'd be probably something of an issue. But when you heft it, you're like, okay, this is this is going to be a very, very heavy pouch. Because it makes sense. He's a merchant. He's in town. At the middle of the thing.
So Soren will just sort of look in the pouch then to get an idea. So he's counting roughly.
It's going to be mostly shillings, although you will see at least 2 crowns in there, and a couple pfennig.
All right, so Soren will empty some into his hand. He'll say to Clump and Klug, I count 2 pfennigs in his personal possessions. Does that sound right to you?
Oh my God! What? No, I have crowns in there. I'm a certified merchant. As the guys, what is this robbery?
Two crowns. How much is a crown?
Those are the gold crowns.
Oh, they're like 240.
Yeah. Yeah, it's it's like crowns are the gold crowns are the big ones, then you have the shillings, and then you have the pfennigs, which are just pennies.
All right, well, he won't grab the big ones. So he'll announce a figure that is not including the big ones. He wants to lift, today's meal and a few drinks worth of coins. A fair amount.
Right. That probably won't be too much of an issue in this case. The merchant is going to protest, and good old Broody is going to casually swipe him upside the head with his baton. He's like, all right, shut it, or let's get all this stuff back to the barracks, including the dead guy.
So
And you will
Soren's going to say, we're actually going to process him? You're going to book him? That sounds like work.
Yep. What are you talking about? I'm gonna keep all this stuff.
Oh, okay. So that's how we do it. Lead the way.
Meanwhile, everybody's all, "Oh, what's going on?" I don't know, Jorg. It seems like Soren is getting along awfully well with Clump and
I
Clump.
know, right? They're just a little too chummy for my taste.
And then Soren totally gets him in trouble. Okay, and so then as the various vehicles are being relocated and moved, the camera is going to is going to sort of like cut in on the guys wearing the purple hats, who are like looking at one another, and they seem like kind of confused. And damn it, I don't have that on there. And there is a woman is actually going to step over there, and naturally the PCs don't see this because they're not paying attention. And she is going to say briefly, it's like, "Good day, gentlemen," and this person is the person that actually Enfys is chasing after, Atelka. And they look a little confused, but hey, whatever. And with that, we are going to fade to black, cue the music, and roll the credits. If you are watching or listening to this and you have comments, questions, complaints, or general heckling, feel free to leave a comment here or find us at Discord. Please consider liking and subscribing to our YouTube and Twitch channels, or don't. I'm not your dad. Anyway, thank you for watching, and Olympus out. So everybody gets the character point.
Bye.